One second, sir, not yet.
It's
Yes,
visible,
sir.
right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I think we talk about the previous session. What is cloud computing? Who is using the cloud computing? And what are the benefits
Yes.
of cloud computing and types of cloud computing? And what is AWS? Why we need to AWS? All those things we talk about. Okay. So before going to that, I need to explain about the global infrastructure. Okay. So this I'm going to share it with you, the link, because this is very important. So what we're going to do, we will start from the basic and gradually we're going to important concepts like VPC, subnet, security, those things we'll talk about. So before that, I wanted to talk about AWS global infrastructure. What is this
Okay.
global infrastructure and why we are using? Okay. So normally for every country, they are having their own data centers. Okay. For example, if you are choose it or Asia specific, there is a two things. One is for geographic regions, other one is edge location. So we'll talk about geographic regions. So if you're able to see it, we have a in India, Hyderabad and Mumbai, we are able to see it. So there is a two data centers available in India. And if you go for the Angkor, there is one data center, Jakarta, there is one data center, and Singapore. These are all the regions. We call it as a regions. Okay. And if you wanted to just drag it out, you will get to know that where are the data centers it is available. So this is going to be
Yes.
updated whenever there is a new data centers.
So then there is even one more data center adding in Andhra Pradesh, right?
I think that is for Google.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Google for
Yes.
that is for AI data centers.
Hmm.
Okay. And so if you're talking about these are all the exactly that edge location we call it as a in Bangalore, India, there is a New Delhi. So these are all the nearest data centers. These are all. And
Okay.
maybe for Chennai, Pune, and other than that, Tokyo. So if you're selected any of the regions, so you can just assume that US is a one of the region and Singapore is a one of the region and Germany is one of the region. So under the each region, there is a sub availability zones. It is going to be run. Okay. So if you're able to see it, there is a 39 regions, 123 availability zones. So I'll talk about what is this availability zones in the moving slides.
Okay.
And so here is the industry how it is going to the global infrastructure. So if you have just opened this image, so as of now, in the top leader, Amazon, second is Google, third is Microsoft, then it is going to be Oracle. Later, there's a lot of clouds are there. So this is how the, I mean, this is going to be changed every year. So which is the one in the top.
Yes.
And let me come to that availability zones. I think I have added in my PPT or not. I'm not sure. No, I did not add it. Let me see it. Yeah. So let me maximize it. Is it visible for this image, right? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can see, sir.
Okay. So if you're able to see it, so this is the AWS regions. Under that, there is a multiple zones is available. Okay. For example, if one availability zone is down, the secondary availability zone, it is up and running. So for each region, there is a multiple availability zone. That means, so if anything's happen in that specific region, okay, so this is going to be taken care of. For example, we have a two data center in the India, right? Okay, I told you, I think I was showed you already, Hyderabad and Mumbai. If Mumbai
Okay.
is down, automatically under the Mumbai, you will get a multiple availability zones. Same thing for Hyderabad also it is having. So Hyderabad, there is a three data centers will be there. That means not three data centers, availability zone. So nearby it will be there. Okay. If one, for example, there is a one area they are located. Okay. I'm not sure that in the Hyderabad where it is located. So if one availability zone is down, the secondary it is going to be up. Okay. So this is the main difference between the region. So region is, you can imagine that it is a country. Okay. Under one country, it can be multiple zones. For example, you can
Sir,
ask me that Hyderabad is a
so,
state.
okay.
Okay, Hyderabad is a state, but you cannot imagine that we call it as a India because here there is a two data center. So as per their requirement, they are going to create the data centers. Okay,
Okay.
per region, one data center or two data centers will be there. Okay, under that multiple availability zones will be there.
Sir, under region availability zone, under availability zone, data centers.
No, no, no. So this is the region. Under the region, there is availability zones. Okay, these are all the
Okay.
data centers. Okay, you cannot call it as a data center. It is kind of a same data center only, but we cannot call it as a data centers. Those are like a small data center. You can call it as a,
Okay.
yeah. So under ERL, if one availability zone down, the secondary availability zone it is going to be up. Okay,
Okay.
so that is all about region and availability. So under the region, availability zones will be there. Okay. So this is about the global infrastructure. Okay, and so I'm going to talk about right now is for the pre-requirement to learn AWS cloud. So you should have a one AWS account.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a URL. You can just create a free account. It will ask for your username, email, and debit card and credit card. So you should use it. So right now I'm already logged in, so I can able to log in it directly. If you are not logged in, it will ask for the username, all those things. If you are facing any issues in the while creating the account, let me know. Okay, it is kind of a just creating the Google accounts.
Okay.
Okay, so that is all about how to create the AWS account. Next, I'll come to the networking point. So this is for our agenda today. So I'm going to talk about AWS networking. I'm start from the what is IP address, CIDR range, VPC, subnets, internet gateway, NAT gateway, route table, security groups, NACL. These are all things I'm going to talk about. Let me make it as a presentation mode. And now I'll talk about what is CIDR range. Okay, so this is very important in the networking topic because you should know this. If you are not able to understand, let me know. So, for example, this is the IP address based network, and /16 is the fixed one. Okay, this is not going to be changed. Okay, and what is this IPv4? So it is having a 32 bits total. The prefix number tells you that how many are network and how many are host. So for example, so here is the 16 and network is a 16 and host is 16. That means total is 32 bits. And if you wanted to, how you are going to calculate it? For example, so there is a total IPs 32 minus prefix. Okay, for example, you need some IP address. Okay, for example, you need /16 of your VPC. If you are using /16, you will get the 65,531 usable host IP. That means, so you need to decide it if for your organization this much of it is required or not. Okay, depends on your organization, you need to design it. Okay, so here I am going to show it to you later how we are going to calculate it. These are all the things. Okay, I'm just giving what is CIDR range here. I'm showing you. Later I'm going to show the CIDR range, how we can calculate it, what is bit everything. And so this is a CIDR range of the quick reference. If somebody is asking for /18 means how many host, how many total IPs usable, and what is the typical AWS case. So by default, all the MNCs, they are going to use it /16. Okay, so you will get the 65,536 and 65,531 is the usable. Remaining will be the taken care by AWS. It is required. Okay, so this is a VPC CIDR range for recommendation. And if you required /17 also you can able to use it. That I told you earlier, depends on your company size, how many IPs it is required, you need to decide it. You need /16 or 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is, you need to decide it as per your company requirement. And then I'm moving to the subnet. So by default, so each organization, they require like a 256 or 128, depends on sizes. Okay, they can able to use it here. If they are using a /24, they will get only 256 and 128, 64, 32, 16. So this is very important to, which is the one we call it as a
Sir,
VPC CIDR range, which is the one subnet CIDR range.
sir, a
Yeah,
small
go
doubt.
ahead.
Sir, here you said that the host bits 8, right? And the total IPC is 256, but usable are 251. Why, sir?
Because the remaining 4, it is going to be used by the AWS. It is required firewall, it is required a gateway. Okay, for that they are going to use it. Okay, each subnet, if you are able to see it for 128 also, they are using 123. 5 your IPs, that is for, it is required for the AWS. So they are not going to assign to you. So that is why you need to decide it, how many IPs you required for each subnets. That you need to decide it. Okay. No, I don't want it 256. Let's go for 512. Okay.
Okay.
Next. So what I'm going to cover it today, I told you VPC, subnets, and internet gateway, route table, security groups, NACL, NAT gateway, CIDR range calculation I'm going to talk about, and VPC architecture. So now this is a virtual private cloud. So this is the VPC, how it is looks good. So what is a VPC? So a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud. You control the IP address range, CIDR block, and define your own subnets, route tables, and gateway. Think of it as your own private data center in the cloud. So this is region scoped, spans all the availability zones in the region. Default VPC is auto created in the each region. So once you log into that AWS account, you can go and check it. Under the VPC, you will get the all the default VPCs. And you can just imagine that. So this is your AWS cloud. Then your VPC, this is a range. Inside that you will get a public subnet, private subnet, okay? And CIDR range also I mentioned it here. So this CIDR range for the your VPC. So this is all about VPC. Next I'll move to subnets. So what is subnet? What is public subnet and private subnet? So if you're able to see public subnet, directly accessible from the internet. Any one person can able to access your public subnet or the your EC2 machine. So it is having a internet gateway that is 0.0.0. That means 00 means it is a internet gateway can able to access it. So where all you can able to use it? Use it for web servers, load balancer, Bastion host, and resource as a public IP address. And example for public subnet, you can able to use it 10.0.1.0/24. So this is for 256 IPs. Only 251 is usable. And if you're talking about private subnet, so there is not directly reachable from the internet, no direct route to the internet gateway. So used for database, application server, backend services. So resource only have the private IP address, you will not get any public IP. So example, for the private subnet, you can able to use it 10.0.2.0/24, the CIDR range, and 256 is the IPs, and you can able to use it again 251. Next slide, CIDR subnetting for the VPC. So here if you are able to see it, public subnet, we always use for the web server and load balancer and NAT gateway and web servers. Private subnet, it can be app server or APS and high availability. And another private, or you can call it as a DB subnets, that is used for RDS primary, RDS replica. So each region will have a minimum 6. Okay, if there is no 6, at least 4 availability zones will be there. Okay, 2 you should make it as a public, 2 should be having a private subnet, because if one availability zone is down, the other availability zone it is up and running. Next, what is internet gateway?
Sir. Can you please repeat, sir? Each region must contain minimum.
So the public subnet, right? So each subnet should have a one availability zone, and it should be a 2, because if one public subnet is down, the availability zone is down, the secondary will be up. So no need any switch manually. So if you are creating any of the subnets, it should have a 2 subnets. It can be private, it can be public.
Okay.
Any doubts?
No, sir, nothing.
Yeah. So now we are talking about internet gateway. What is this internet gateway? I told you earlier. So this is used for horizontally scaled, redundant, and highly available. Allow for the both inbound and outbound for the internet traffic, and it is going to be perform the NAT for the instance with the public IP address. So one internet gateway per VPC attached directly to the VPC. So this is connected with the VPC and free, no additional charges for using it if you are using the internet gateway. So it should be a must update in the route table. I'm going to show you how we can able to do it. So if you're able to see this architecture, how the internet is passing. When the user is connected with the internet, it will come to internet gateway and route table and EC2 instance. So this is how the connectivity is happening. And steps also how to create a internet gateway. I'm going to show it to you. Here I mentioned just creating the gateway attached to your VPC, edit your route table, add internet gateway 0.0. That means 0.0.0 means it is a public IP, can able to access it anyone. And if you're talking about what is this route table, so a route table contains the rules, that means routes that determine the where network traffic your subnet is redirected. Each subnet must associate with the exactly one route table. So a route table should have at least one subnet, and where should it be go via, it should be go via public subnet or private subnet. So here is an example for the public route table. So by default 10.0.0/16 means it is your VPC local. And if you are adding a internet gateway, this becomes a public route table. So if you are not added any of the private route table, this you call it as a private route table. And if you need NAT gateway, then you can be able to use it. Okay. So this is going to be added. Let me see it. Exact. I think we can add it internet. Sorry, I need to add one more slide here. So we're going to add the private route table with the NAT gateway, because the private subnet should be connected with always NAT gateway. Public subnet should be connected with your internet gateway. This is a simple logic you should know. Okay. So local route. What is this local route? So always present, enable the VPC internal communication, cannot be deleted. You cannot able to delete it also. So most specific ones is longest prefix matches 10.0.1.24 bits and /16 bits and 00. So you can able to use it for 00, or you want only within a VPC or within a your subnet, that is also you can able to use it. This CIDR range you should use it. So most of the times for internet gateway they are going to use it this one. And default route it should be 0. Internet gateway makes your subnet public. NAT gateway gives a private outbound access. So one route per subnet, each subnet associated with the exactly one route table at a time. So each subnet should have a one route table. Any doubts on route table? Because this is very important.
No, sir, no, sir. I'm right. But means a small request from my side, sir.
Hmm.
As I'm a fresher, so according to me, means what I think is it would be more understandable if you explain me in a diagrammatic form, sir. As you have kept the content in a text format, it's a bit tough to
Hmm.
understand. But if I
Hmm.
try, I'm able to understand. But if you make it more easy in a diagrammatical order and explain me in a diagrammatic order, it would be easy and I could understand fast.
What I'm going to do, I have already diagram. Okay, I'll show it you
Okay.
how we can able to do it. So this is
Okay.
for it is just theory. You should know the theory. Okay, I
Yes,
can
yes, yes,
just
sir.
diagram it. I can give. I can tell you. But without theory, you cannot able to understand practical also. Okay, you can
Yes,
do it.
yes.
But what is route table subnet? You should know all those things. I'll show you
Yes, yes.
the diagram also, and maybe next two slide it will be there. Okay. Now I'll move to security groups and NACL. So this is just a theory. Okay. So once the session is completed, whatever you have doubt, you let me know. We'll check. Okay. So so whenever there is an internet, okay, sorry, if you wanted to reach to EC2 instance, so it will come to internet. Okay, if you're able to see it, and it will go to that subnet level. Okay, and this security group attached with the VPC, security group attached with the your EC2 instance. So this is how the communication will be happening. And what is the difference between security group network? So security group only it will be attached with your instance, and NACL subnet level. And statefulness for security group, it is a stateful, it will return the traffic auto allowed. For NACL, stateless must allow both the direction. Both the directions, it is a inbound and outbound. Rule types allow only the rules, but in the NACL, you can able to allow the rule and deny the rule. So evaluation, all rules evaluated together, rules evaluated in the order. So it can be lowest and the first. That is how you can able to use it. The default, so you can able to deny all inbound, allow for the outbound. But here you can able to allow the default VPC NACL. So here you can able to allow by default, but if you wanted to block it again, it is possible. And NAT gateway. So what is this NAT gateway? So network address translation service managed by the AWS. So it will allow private instance to reach the internet outbound. It will blocks all the inbound connection from the internet, lives in the public subnet, but it is a need a elastic IP. If you wanted to create a NAT gateway, you need elastic IP. And highly available within the availability zone, create one per availability zone. And NAT gateway versus internet gateway. Internet gateway allows both inbound and outbound internet traffic. NAT gateway, it is going to be allow only outbound only. And it can be connected with your private subnet and internet. So here is a diagram like internet. It will go to internet gateway and NAT gateway and EC2 private subnet. So to create the NAT gateway, you should have a public subnet because this is should be a public. Then this private subnet can able to communicate with the NAT gateway. Then it will go via internet gateway and outside of internet. So I think this is what your expectation. So this is a complete VPC architecture. This is your AWS cloud region, and this is your internet. And we are going to create the internet gateway. Internet gateway, it is connected with your VPC. Okay, VPC, it is having a multiple availability zone, zone 1, zone 2, or 1A, 1B. It can be a public subnet, private, one availability zone. Same thing for
Sir,
availability zone 2.
sir, what are the minimum and maximum available results in a single VPC?
Sorry?
Sir, what is the minimum and maximum availability zones in VPC?
So VPC will not have a availability zones. Only availability zone, it is for subnets. VPC for region wise, not the availability zones. Okay. If you're talking about subnet, it can be 4, it can be 6. Max to max 6 availability zones will be there. Okay. So VPC is the region based. Subnet is for availability based. That is how we can understand the simple words. Okay. And so we are going to talk about all this VPC, subnet, internet gateway, route tables, security groups, NACL, NAT gateway, side arrange, everything. Now, let's move on to the theory part. I mean, the side arrange calculation, all those things, because you need you need to understand the side arrange. That is why I'm going to talk about here. So, what is side arrange? CIDR, somebody they will call it as, or side range also they will call it. So what is this side range? Do you have any idea?
Sir, CIDR range.
Yeah. So CIDR means stands for classless inter-domain routing. This is a full form of your CIDR. Maybe in the if you're coming from like engineering background, you should know all those things.
Yes, sir, I have ideas.
And so it is going to be allows us to the define how many bits of IP address are used for the network and how many for the host. That is what this CIDR range it will do. Now let me talk about CIDR notation. Okay, so IP address slash number of networks bits it is required. For example, you do not know what is this IP address, right? Or the So do you know what is this 192.168.1.0/24? Okay. So I'm going to just explain it. What is this? Okay. So this means the first 24 bits. Okay. We call it as a network. I told you in the while presentation also. Okay. So these are all the network. Remaining are host. Okay. So how do we calculate it? Like a 24 and 8 bits. I'm going to talk about further. Okay. I'll show it to you. Okay. Now, before going to that, I'll talk about what is the IP address. So obviously you are using a Wi-Fi network in your home, right? So by default, if you check it of your PC, there is an IP address, right? So IP address is the unique identifier assigned to the every device on the network. So for each device, you require the IP address. So you can just check and let us know in your home. Okay. By default, these are all the IPs will be there. 192.168.0. It can be 250. So this value it is going to be changed. Okay. So this is a two example I've given. Maybe all the Wi-Fi networks it is connected with 192 series. And now I'll talk about two versions of IP. Okay, one is for IPv4, another one is for IPv6. So IPv6 still we are not using. We are focusing on only IPv4 because most commonly used for here. So 32 bits. Okay. Example 192.168.1.1. Okay. So this you can call it as a 32 bit. So IP4 will have a 32 bits and IPv6 will have a 128 bits. So what is this bits? Okay. Let me talk about. Before that, most commonly we are using IPv4, right? So what is this IPv4? It is a Internet Protocol version 4. So is the most widely used version of the Internet Protocol. It uses the 32 bits address the scheme divided into 4 octet, also called as a bytes. So each octet is made up for the 8 bits and they are separated by the dots in the dotted decimal notation. So what is this 8 bits octet and decimal dotted, right? So you have a questions regarding that one. Okay, let me talk about. So first example I'm going to talk about. So here if you are able to see it, I'm going to talk about 192.168.0.11. So how you are going to calculate it, right? So now what I'm going to do. So IPv4 address, okay, you can call it as a 192 is 8 bits, 168 8 bits, 0 8 bits and 11 8 bits. Total how much? It is 32, right? Okay. So IPv4, it should be a 32 bit only. Okay. So that is the
Yes, sir.
total bits. This is how we calculate it bits. Now, so now in the backend, we don't know how our decimal or binary it is working, right? So let me talk about. Now, let me show the one more example here. So here, if you are able to see it, so 192, right? 192, 168, 0.198. So if you are converted this 192, this is the value it will come. Okay. Actually, this is the backend it is working. Okay. If you wanted to convert it, this how this value it is coming, I'm going to talk about next few minutes. Okay. So this is the decimal format and this is a binary format. Okay. So here if you are able to see it 11000, right? Here 10101000 or it is showing 00. So I'm going to talk about what is this binary, how we can able to convert it to 192. Okay. So this is very, it is networking. It is very tough to understand because if you're working on the AWS cloud, obviously you should know this networking part. Okay. So stay on the call. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about each number 192, 168, whatever we have seen it here 0.198. So this is going to be represent one octet and each octet can range the 0 to 250 because 256 we are able to see it, right? 0 to 255. So now the total is 256. Okay, one it is going to be used for the gateway or some other reasons. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just show it you how we can able to convert it or the binary format, right? I'm going to show it you. Now I'm talking about binary V4. Okay. So you just imagine we are already given the data here. I'm just fetching it here. So it is made up for the 4 octet. Okay. So this we call it as a 4 and 4 and 4 and 4. So here each 8 bits equivalent to 4 octets. Okay, this is again algorithm. Okay, just you should know only what is this. You should know only bits. That's it. So you don't focus on like in depth, but I need to tell. That is the reason I'm telling. Okay. So no need like a in depth. We should not go to. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about this value 4 octet. I'm going to take it. So first I'll take it first octet. So now if you're able to see it, so I'm taking this example 11, right? Okay. How do we convert it to binary to decimal? So here is the example. So what I have written it here. So 1 into 128, 1 into 64, and 0 into 32, 0 into 16, 0 to 18, 0 to 4, 0 to 2, and 0 to 1. So what is that means? Now, so here we are calculating 192, right? So if you are able to see it, first number I have taken it here, second number I have taken it here, and 0, right? You just calculate it, 0, 0, 0. That means we need to calculate it 128 plus 164 equal to 192. So this is how we can able to calculate it to value. So this is a decimal number. Any doubt you need, have a doubts here, how I got to know, right? This number, right? From octet to how I converted to decimal. Any doubt? Any questions? Because this is very important.
No, sir. No.
Okay. Now I'm taking the second number. So here also same thing. So you can just observe it here also. So I'm taking first number is 1, right? 128 and 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So I'm going to show you.
Actually, I have that idea, sir. Decimal to binary, binary to decimal conversion. I have that idea.
Yeah. So if you know, that is well and good. Okay. That means I'm going to complete this decimal format and I'll move to next topic. Okay. I wanted to show like a 2 to 3 example, but I'll skip it 2 to 3 day. I'll complete it this one. I wanted to tell you that this 168 also. How I am calculating.
Actually,
Okay.
I have that. That means we do the binary, no, sir. Zero 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 zero
Ah,
one zero zero one zero zero
yeah, exactly. So
zero
this
one
is
one
same thing.
zero one zero 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 one zero one.
So you should know how to calculate it. Okay,
Yes,
if
sir.
you already know it, that's good. So here I have fourth octet also I've taken it. So exactly what is our expectation here? Our expectation is what is the value? Where is the IP address? 192, right? Okay. This is what I required, right? This is the example I've taken it, right? So first octet, we got it 192, right? And 168 and 0, 192. You got it right? And the final result is, so how we are calculated, we got to know. So final result, so these are all the binaries, okay? And decimal equivalent, okay? So we are, whatever we have seen it, these are all the decimals, okay? These are all the binaries, you got it right? And the final is, I'm going to show the binary IP address looks like how your decimal IP how looks like. Any questions till now?
No, sir.
Okay. So these are all notes it is available. Okay. You can just go through it. Okay. So this is a one example I showed you. How you can, if you want different IP address also, you can able to see it. I'm already added in the notepad. Now I'm going to skip the 10 series IP address because you are already know about this. Now let's move on to the how do we calculate the IP address? Okay, so let's decide how many IP address required. So I think in the presentation mode also I talk about.
Yes, sir. 2 to the power 32 minus n.
Yeah, exactly. So here 2 to the power of 32 is a here the total IPs. And how do we example? So this is your 24. How we can able to get 24 means 2 to the power of 32. 32 minus 24, you can just calculate it. You'll get a 2 into 8. You'll get a 256 IP address. You need
Sir,
to multiply till 8.
sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this calculation is means I am a customer. I need 200 IPs. So if I need 200 IPs, we are keeping 192.168.1.0/24.
Correct.
Now, if I need
Exactly.
500 IPs, what is the number should I keep there?
Then you can able to use it. What is the CIDR range we have showed you in the architecture? If you need 500, okay, there is a slide. Sorry. Sorry, where is I missed it? So you need how many? 500, right? So you need to keep it /23.
Okay, sir. Is there any formula for this? Means for the CIDR range, అంటే
Yeah, you
అవన్నీ
can able.
గుర్తుపెట్టుకునే ఏమన్నా
Yeah,
ఐడియా ఉంది?
yes. There is a CIDR range. Okay, just go to Google. Just type it CIDR
Okay.
range calculator. I can use it any of the tools. You can able to see it. For example, I need how many IPs you required. For example, you required 500, right? So here I'm just calculating. If you calculate it, it will shows how many IP address it will come. Let's wait for. See, this is the CIDR range and net mask, first IP and first decimal. That means these are all the decimal calculation and last IP and here last decimal. Total host you will get a 256 because we are using a 24, right? Let's use it 23, right? Let's use 23
సార్
now.
ఇప్పుడు మనం నంబర్ 23 అని పెడుతున్నాం సార్ 23 24.
Correct.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు అది మాక్సిమం ఎంత వరకు పెట్టొచ్చు సార్? 28 29 దాకా ఇంకా పెంచొచ్చు అదని పెంచలేం కదా?
పెంచవచ్చు ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదా 65,536 host
ఓకే
you can able to use
అంటే
it.
సిఐడిఆర్ నంబర్ ఎప్పుడైతే హై అంటే 28 29 పెరుగుతుంది 28 దాకా పెరుగుతుందో మనకు ఐపీస్ అంత తక్కువ వస్తాయి.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఇక్కడ ఉంది ఆల్రెడీ. ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ టోటల్ ఏపీసీ ఉంది కదా ఇక్కడ తెలుస్తుంది మీకు. సో
ఓకే సార్
16 అంటే తక్కువ, చాలా కావాలంటే పైన వెళ్ళాల 28 27 26 25 24.
గాట్ ఇట్ సార్.
And let me I was talking about for the IP address, right? So how do we calculate it, right? Let's see that. So here we are talking about one, how do we get it? You got it, right? So 256 minus 22 means 254. So the calculation I'm doing here, for example, you required 256 address or 200 IP. If you required, what is the CIDR range you should choose it? That is how you need to calculate it. For example, 2 to power of 32 is the total and minus 24. If you minus it, what it will happen? It will shows that how many IPs it is required. So if you are minusing, how much it will come? 32 minus 24, you will get 8, right? Then you need to multiply it. If you multiply it, you will get a 256 IP. So same thing for here also. If you require /26, you will get these are all the IPs. If you are moving down, see, you will get only 62 IP address. Okay, how we are able to calculate it, I told you already. 32 minus 26 equal to 6 host bits and 2 to power of 6, you will get a 64 IP address. Okay, so that Chart also I've already added in the notes. That is also you can able to use it. Okay. So this is a first subnet IP address, like a network, broadcast, usable, right? So usable, you told me, right? Okay. What are the IP address you can able to see it? So this is a usable for the IP address. Second subnet, if you want, this is a second. Okay. So these are all network. It is required. Broadcast. It is required, and remaining IP you are going to use it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So the chart I've already showed you, right? In the notes also it is available.
Yes, sir.
And the final one is, so how do we select the VPC CIDR range or subnet? Okay. And what is the subnet range? Okay. Let me show it to you here. So here is, I mentioned like a subnets. Okay. So this is a subnet. Total IPs. Let me let it be there. Let me take one example. For example, VPC CIDR range. So what is the CIDR range you are going to take it? For example, I am taking 10.0.0./16 and subnet CIDR range. So VPC CIDR is different and subnet CIDR range is different. Okay. So if you need IP address, how many? So you need to get it from year, not in the year. Okay. So /16 means maximum host. We are already set it out. Okay. So subnet level, you need to mention it. So you can mention it anything. For example, some of the companies, they want only 10 IPs. They can use it like a /28, /30 like that. Okay. Depends on their requirement. And if I select, I told you total IP, if you are using it /24, how many IPs you will get? For 24, you'll get the 256, right?
Yes, sir. 256.
And only usable host 254.
251. 251.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
And subnet range, this is the range of your subnet 0 to 255. Okay. The total I'm talking about. Okay. Included
yes.
all.
Yes.
So this is all about the what is IP address, CIDR range, how
Sir,
do we calculate it?
where is one IP address going? So total IP address is 256, right? And for the
Ah,
subnet CIDR, we are getting only 255. Where is the single IP address going?
so here this is the total. Okay. Under that it will not use 55. 0, it will not use it. Okay, it will start from 1 to
Okay, okay.
254.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir. It is
Okay.
starting from 0 and ending at 256.
Yes. In the meantime, on-prem network, they're going to use it 1 or 2. But as per the cloud, they are going to use it 5 IPs. Okay. So they are going to use it only for the usable 251 in the AWS cloud. Remaining 5 will be reserved. Okay. Nobody cannot use it. Okay. You can say that 5 reserved IP address. So this is maybe it is going to be changed. Okay. There, as per the AWS cloud reserved. Okay. So now let's move on to the lab. If you have any questions till now, let me know, because uh, now we are going to talk about, again, we should not talk about what is CIDR range, IP address, all those things. Okay. Any questions in the
Nothing, sir.
CIDR range, let me know.
Just nothing, sir. Just want to know what are the 5 recent IP addresses that are used by AWS.
Yeah. Now let me close everything. Let's go to that. So once you, if you are not created a AWS account, just create it. Okay. And if you are facing an issue, let me know. Now I'll move to VPC topic. So once you log into that AWS console, you will see that VPC port in the search bar. Just search it out, VPC. So if you are selected VPC, it will redirect it to your VPC dashboard. Right? So if you're able to see it, you will see that VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway, everything you can able to see it. I told you earlier, when you are creating any account, okay, by default there is a one network will be there. Here also same, one default network will be there. If you are observed it, okay. Don't worry about default one. So when you started your any company, you need to create it your own VPC. So right now I'm going to create a PC. Here there is a two option. You can create it your own, or you wanted to automatically it should be created. So if you are able to see it, this is going to be auto created. So this VPC, it will create the two availability zone, two subnet it is going to be created, and route table and network connections. Everything it is showing in the diagram. Same thing we are going to talk about. I think you are talking about diagram, right? In the back end, this is how your VPC looks like. Now, if you are selected this one, you will not get to know what are the option where we need to put it, right? That is why I'm going to use it VPC only. So you need to give the VPC name. I'm going to mention it, my VPC name, my VPC, and what is the CIDR range? You can able to use it any range. It can be a 10 series, it can be a 192 series, any series you can able to take. Okay, so I'm going to use it 10 series only, and remaining things I'm not going to touch anything. Okay, I'll just create it. Okay, so you should know these manual steps because you are going to learn on Terraform, right? So in the Terraform, you required what are the things you are going to mention it. That is the reason I'm saying. I can go and I can create it this one. Okay, in Terraform, you'll not get to know how it is created. That is why I'm creating here. So once it is created, so your my VPC is created. See, our my VPC is created. Now let's move on to subnet. So create a subnet, and you need to select the VPC, which VPC you are going to create under the subnet, under the VPC. So I'm going to use it my own VPC, and VPC name you can give it public subnet 1. Okay, are you able to see it? I think you ask for the availability zone, right? How many are there
Yes,
here?
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the region. Okay. So North Virginia, it is having a 6 availability zone. And you can switch to uh, our Mumbai and see it how many are there. Okay, later. You can just check it out how many availability zones are there. Now I'm going to use it 1A, and I'm going to use the CIDR range 10.0.1.0/24. So you can able to create a subnet. So once you created, are you able to see it your subnet range? So
Yes, sir.
here, if you are able to see it, the CIDR range and what is the available IP address? Are you able to see 251 IP address? It is available, and
Yes,
which
yes, I can.
availability zone you can able to see it. Okay. So these are other details you can able to see it. I think you have a question with VPC, right? So you told that how many zones. So VPC, did you see it anywhere like a any kind of a region or subnet here? No, right? So VPC for region, subnet for availability zone. Okay. See, these are all availability zones. Now I have created a public RAID. I am going to create a one more one is private. Okay, private subnet. Under which 1B I am going to create it, and range I am going to select it 24. So now just filter it your VPC. Then come to here. Select my VPC. How many are there? Subnets. One public, one private. Okay. So this is how we can able to create the subnets. Now let's move on to the internet gateway. How to create the internet gateway? So simple way, just create the internet gateway, give the internet gateway name, and create the internet gateway. So once it is created, you need to attach it. Are you able to see there is attach VPC? Just click attach, and you need to select the your VPC. So here, are you able to see it? Your internet gateway also created. Now NAT gateway we required. Okay. Now I'm going to create the NAT gateway. So why it is required NAT gateway? So NAT gateway required for
address translation, network address translation.
So NAT gateway used for private subnets.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That what to translate
get the internet access,
public
to communication to the outbound. So here we need to select the which VPC we are going to create this NAT gateway, so that automatically it is selected a one public. So we did not see selected any of the public subnet. By default, when you select this my VPC, automatically this NAT gateway it is created on the top of the your public subnet. Create a NAT gateway. So NAT gateway it is going to be created. It will show the IP address. So once it is created, we need to move to route table. So whenever you create any of the VPC, you will get the default route table. Are you able to see it main? So this is the default one. Okay. So we don't require default one. We require our own route table. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the name, public route table, and my VPC, and here. So once you created the public route table, you need to associate with the subnet. Okay, go to that. First, you can just attach this public route table with your internet gateway, right? Just add it and select the 00 and internet gateway, and you can able to see it internet gateway. So once you are added, just save it. Next, move on to the subnet association, because this route table should be connected with your public subnet. Okay. So if you come down below, there is a edit. Select the public subnet, save it. So now this private public route table associated with your public subnet. And again, I'm going to create a one more route table for private, because we have created a two subnet, right? Same thing here. Edit the routes, add 00. Now what you are going to select it here for private route table? NAT gateway, right? So NAT gateway are selected here. And same thing, you need to associate the subnet, edit it, select it. So now the entire VPC subnet route table internet gateway NAT gateway completed. Then I am moving to security group. How we can able to create the security group? Because we are going to create the two EC2 machine. One is for public, one is for private. So for that also I'm going to create the security group. Okay. Create a security group. Give the security group name called public Windows security group, and you can mention it a description anything, and it should be select our my VPC. So under here you need to add the roles here. So what are the rules I need to add it? Because RDP I need to connect, because my Windows server should have a RDP connectivity. So I'm going to add it. So I'm going to mention it anywhere. So you can select it my also, or you can able to select it anywhere. That is fine. Then outbound rules, keep it default, no need to change it. And now I've created a public one, right? Let's create a private security group. I'm going to use a description here. Let's select my VPC, and in the rule section, I'm going to use it RDP. Okay. So now I'm selecting here. So which is the one we created a public, right? So this security group should be connected. That means from public subnet to private subnet, there is a connectivity. That means they can able to do the RDP. Other than RDP, they cannot do anything. That is why I selected here. Then I'm going to add that ICMP4 because we need to check the ping connectivity. ICMP4 used for ping connectivity. So that is why I'm using all ICMP. I make it as a 0. Once it is done, create the security groups. So now we have created all the resources, right? So network ACL, it is not required because it is a default one. It is already there by default. Inbound and outbound, both it is available. So if you're able to see it, it is allowed. And outbound also it is allowed. Okay. So we don't want to touch this NACL. Some of the companies, they are going to use it to allow it only particular CIDR range. But while testing, do not add any of the rules here. Okay. Because this is depends on your rule number. So no need to do it any changes in the network ACL. So now we have created the entire VPC network. Now let's move on to the EC2. Any questions on regarding VPC?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, as it is a first class and I'm a fresher, you were
No.
saying, but
See,
it was a bit tough to understand.
that is fine. Okay, if you are having any doubts, let me know. I got it. Okay, later also you can ask me later. If you have any question, raise it. Otherwise,
No,
just
sir,
move on to it.
not
Yeah,
about doubts, not about doubts, but means a bit about what is this console and what are all these dashboards and etc. New to this interface, right? So a bit tough to
exactly.
understand.
So create a account and try to search it out all the services and look for it. Okay, that is why I'm going to search it out here. I'm just searching the services. Okay, you need to search it out because here I have added already a favorite. So that is how I can able to redirect it. But as you are a fresher, you need to go to search bar, select it, search it out, what are the services you required. Then automatically it will redirect it. It is kind of a Facebook, it is kind of a Gmail, right? That's it. Okay. So first create an account, then try to do it. But before you are coming to the session only, this account should be ready. Okay. So if you are not created today, let me know. We'll create it tomorrow. Okay. Because that is a pre-requirement for this course. You got it right. At least what is VPC? How do we create the
Yes,
VPC?
sir, got it, got it, got
Yeah,
it.
sir. That's fine. These are all the the basic services you should know. Later you can learn it later. Like that means once you have created account, VPC, subnet, all those things. So now what I'm trying to do, whatever we are created manually, right? So I wanted to test it out, right? From public subnet, private subnet, under that my machine is able to log in or it is blocking or not. Those things we need to see it, right? So let's do it. I'm going to launch one of the instance. Okay. I will call it as a public Windows server because we have already created a public subnet. So for my reference, I'm going to mention it public Windows server, and I'm going to select the Windows server here. The AMI, I'm going to use it Windows, and for the instance type, I'm going to use it T3 medium, that is 2 virtual CPU and 4 GB RAM, and I'm going to create the key pair. So yesterday there is already key pair, right? So now I'm going to create the key pair. So if you're able to see it, for Windows instance, you use the key pair to decrypt the administrator password. Then you can able to decrypt the password for to connect it to your instance. Okay. So ensure that you have access to the selected key pair before launch the instance. So you need to create the key pair. Okay. There is a two types. One is for RSA, one is for EDS. Okay. This is kind of a security type. Okay. And below you can able to see .pem, .ppk. These are all the key format. So whenever you are going to create it, you should always select the .pem. Okay. So using the PEM, we can able to convert it to PPK. That is the reason. So the key pair name, I mentioned it VPC because we are talking about VPC topic, right? That is the reason. Just create a key pair. This is going to be downloaded. Next, go on to the networking, right? So we have created the VPC, right? Select our VPC, and this machine belongs to which subnet? Public. Select the public one, and so for the public one, it should have a public IP. So it is already default. By default, I'm going to enable it to get the public IP. And security group, we are already created, right? So I'm going to use a public Windows SG. Then I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just creating the one instance. And same thing for, I'm going to create it for private. Are you able to see it? It is already initialized.
Yes, sir.
So now again, I'm going to create a one more machine. Private Windows server, same AMI, I'm going to use it. And same instance type, I'm going to select it here. And key pair, which is the one we are already created, we are selecting. And networking, just edit it. Select our VPC, which is the one we created. And subnet should be a private subnet by default selected. And we don't require any public IP because this is a private subnet, right? And I'm going to select the existing security group and creating launch. So we have created a one VPC, two subnet, one internet gateway, one NAT gateway, two route table, and two security group and two EC2 machine. So in the diagram, whatever I showed you, same thing I have created, right? So internet, from internet to internet gateway, VPC, public subnet and private subnet. Okay, we have created a two availability zone, but you can able to create it private one also. Here also you can able to do it. But I have created each availability zone, one public, one private. Now, so how do we log in it, right? So if you're able to see it for public Windows server, there is a public IP. if you are selected Windows, there is no public IP, right? How you can able to log in to the private server? So first what you can do it. So in any of the company, they will call it as a jump server or bastion. Okay. Whenever you are going to create any of the EC2 machine on the public subnet, that you can call it as a bastion, or it is kind of a gateway server also. Or you can call it as a most of the companies they will call it as a bastion only. So now I'll try to connect it to here, select the RDP client and get the password. Select it here, select the key, open and decrypt the password. Are you able to see the password here? Just copy it and download the file, click on it. So this will ask for the password. It will be connected to Windows server.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show it you reverse use case also where all the blocker it will come. Okay, now let it be initialize it the Windows machine. Okay, are you able to see it? So we are already created a EC2 machine and we are able to log into that Windows server. So this is looks like your PC only, Windows machine. But here this is server, your is client machine. Okay. So right now we are already logged into the Windows machine. So now how do we log into that private machine, right? So just search it out here, MSTC. Then go back to that console, select your private Windows machine. Did you see it? Any IP address are there in the public? No, right? We are going to use it private subnet only. Connect it, get the password, decrypt, and copy this IP address. Okay. Go back to your machine, your public server. Just paste the IP address here. Connect it. So it is asking for the username and password, right? Where is there your username and password? Here, right? Just copy it, paste it here, and same thing, copy the password and paste it. So to log into this Windows server, the RDP port number should be enabled. Okay, that is the reason I'm able to log in it. Okay, now after login, I'm going to show it you why we cannot able to log in if you are not allowed in the security group. Are you able to see it? This is the IP address we are logged in, and here also you can able to see our C drive. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let's open the one more console. I'm going to select private Windows server. Now we are able to connect it right from public Windows server to private, right? Now I'm just showing you sometimes why we cannot able to log into Windows server. Because if you select it, there is a security group. Just open the security group here. There is a inbound and outbound, right? Right. So here inbound and outbound. So here I have allowed for the 3389 for the public server security group, right? If I delete this one, are you able to log in or not? Let me see it, right? Okay, I'm going to delete it. I'll save it. Okay, now let's move on to here. Now I'm just closing this RDP. I'm trying to log in it. Are you able to see it? Why we are not able to log in? Earlier, it was asking for username and password. Now it is not asking because we have deleted the security group in the rule. Okay. Make sure that to log into the tennis server, you will get this error. Okay. So make sure that this should be allowed in the inbound rule. Just go to edit and add the rule and search it for RDP. Select your public security group and save it. And now you can try to connect it. It will ask for the username and password also. Are you able to see it? It is asking, right?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, the same thing, right? So we'll talk about public Windows Server security group. Now let's open this public one. Here also same thing we have done it, right? So here edit it. So we have allowed for everywhere, right? Okay. If you are no, I don't want to log in from anywhere. Okay, I want from only my IP. Select it and save it. You can able to log in. But if you are deleted this RDP port, okay, if the server it is in the public also you cannot able to because there is no port here. Okay. Now let me close this. Let's try to connect it, right? So this is our public Windows server, right? Let's download it and try it. See, we are getting a error. We'll get error because it is trying to initiate the remote connection because there is RDP port. It is not enabled, right, in the security group. So that is the reason we are not able to allow it. See, session is ended. Make sure that security group is very important for the allow the port numbers. Any doubt till now? So once you have completed your lab, just select it and terminate the EC2 machine because this is going to be chargeable. Okay, make sure that terminate it. Okay, there is an option called terminate, delete it. Do not stop it also. Just delete it if you are not using. Once it is done, same thing, go back to VPC, delete the VPC, whatever you have created. VPC, subnet, network, NAT gateway, everything you need to delete it. Okay. Make sure that first you need to delete the NAT gateway. Because right now, if I'm trying to delete this NAT gateway, you will get error. Okay. NAT gateway it is trying to delete it. But if you are using EC, because it is already terminated, right? That is the reason it is deleting. If the server is running, if you are trying to delete this my NAT gateway, it will not delete it. Okay. If the resource, if it is running, you cannot delete any of the resources. Okay. So once your NAT gateway deleted, go to your VPC and try to delete it. Okay. If you are trying to delete it, you will get an error here. Okay. See, are you able to see it? Unable to delete because the resource is deleting. Okay. Once it is deleted, you can able to delete it. So under the VPC, we'll get a route table, subnets, security groups, NACL, everything it will come. So just go ahead and delete it. The main thing is first you need to delete NAT gateway. Without deleting NAT gateway, you cannot delete your VPC. Why I am telling here, you should know how to create it manually, how to delete it also you should know. Okay, see, I'm getting to delete it now. Do not keep any resource running once your lab session is completed. So that is all for today. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, tomorrow we'll connect on EC2 session.
Sir, not about the